In the Miller Time segment tonight, plenty to talk about, so let's go right to the stage of Southern California. President Obama launching a drone on us when we're performing, okay?
Yeah.
Because basically the president has told the world, look, I'm going to get whoever I want if I think they're terrorists, and you and I probably, in his opinion, fall under that category. And then anybody else around is going to get blown up, and that's that, right?
Well, listen, let's face facts. The unmanned drone's the new hot tech item. Used to be the iPhone. Now it's like, what, the die-phone or something. And, you know, everybody should have one. I kind of like how efficient it is. It's bloodless. It makes non-subjective decisions. I think we should turn our health care plan over to the unmanned drones. You'd get a hernia test from an unmanned drone,
Absolutely.
wouldn't you, Billy? And, you know, so I see that the president has a kill list this week. And I was a little angered to find out I was moved down to number 3. You're at 4. Biden has been moved into the number 2 slot. And that's ironic because Biden's Secret Service name is the unmanned drone, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, in the number 1 position continues to be hot-blooded by Foreigner, 4 weeks in a row at the top of the chart.
Celebrity couples, Forbes magazine, making a lot of money together. All right. Number 1, Beyonce and Jay-Z apparently make $78 million in a year ending May 2012. And do you believe that, first of all? 78 million, these two?
Well, probably, I'm sure, Billy. I don't know much about him. To me, they might as well call him JZZZ because it's a bit of a snooze. Every time I hear him call him a genius, I think, I don't know much about him. It seems like people are trying to sing like Alicia Keys. It sounds like a nice song. Then he starts talking.
Statue of Liberty, long live the World Trade, long live the King, yo. I'm from the Empire State.
So if he's making $78 million off that, he is a freaking genius. In the 2 slot, you got Tom Brady, who's a complete mensch, and you got the woman who, next to my wife, is the hottest woman of this generation, Giselle. They deserve whatever they're getting.
72 million. That's most of that's got to come from her. I think Brady is in for 15 or 16 with the Patriots. So she's a big breadwinner there. And then we have Victoria and David Beckham.
Oh, this one I don't get.
54
because,
million.
You know, the last time he hooked the goal was, you know, back in the early 60s, I believe. And the simple fact is she appears to be one of the 4 or 5 least interesting people who ever lived in the history of the planet Earth. And she always has that pinched look on her face like she tried to bite a
Spice Girls,
Xanax
Miller.
in half
Did you see him at the Olympic closing ceremonies?
Well,
I mean,
somebody forgot that. I don't think somebody tightened the lid on that Spice Girl because it's getting a little old. And he's running around. He's one tat away from being the chief harpooner on the Pequod. So them I don't get. The 2 slot I get. The 1st slot I get her. I don't get him.
All right. Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, 45 million. Jada Pinkett and Will Smith,
Big heroes of mine.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt and his wife, Angelina Jolie, big heroes of mine.
They do
I think
a lot
they
of good
always
work,
do the
right?
right thing.
Okay.
I think they do the right thing. I admire them immensely.
You think the story's gonna have a happy ending?
Happy endings are just stories that haven't finished yet.
Miller, I have to confess, I don't eat a lot of French food because I heard if you do, then you're compelled to wear a beret, and I don't like the look. Frogwa, is that how you say it? Frogwa?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, listen, Billy, it's a goose's liver, and they shoot the goose with food and make his liver fat, and you eat it. And can I tell you, it tastes great. And now they want, you know, you can't have foie gras in California. And listen, I know when my head hits the pillow at night, I shouldn't be able to sleep because, you know, Daffy.
Let's run through that again.
The self-serve island getting fed grain out the wazoo.
Sorry.
You know, we're talking about a world where they're taking kids in some of these countries and doing the most atrocious things to them. I'm sorry, they're geese at some point. It tastes good. Give it a shot.
So,
that's all
Let me get this
say.
straight, though. California's outlawed frogwa because the goose is misfed?
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, listen. Yeah,
Did Jerry Brown sign that bill?
The goose is too full of grain. Everybody else in California is full of something else, but the goose has too much food in it.
But it's worse here because a goose in New York City can't buy a 16-ounce soda. Did you know that?
Hey,
and the geese
listen,
are outraged. They're flying
been
now
goosed
going,
on
give
the
me the
subway?
big gulp right now.
You ever been goosed on the subway? Trust me, it's worth a lot more.
Next up, what does Miller think about Farrakhan's rant over fast food?
One man's slime is another man's roughage.
More Miller. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the Personal Story segment tonight. From time to time, we put together some highlights of our pal Dennis Miller doing what he does, whatever that is. Now, there are two reasons we do this. Number one, sometimes it's hard to understand Miller the first time around. And number two, sometimes what he says is worth hearing again. Prince William and his wife, Kate Middleton, expecting a little royal person. Do you care? Are you following this?
Listen, that girl better hope that the kid doesn't have her father-in-law's ears, or she should get hooked up to the epidural tomorrow. That is going to be a tough. That's going to be a tough rafting trip there. You know, Billy, in England, they come down the other side of the fallopian tube. Listen, I don't get the whole royalty thing. I watched Beckett over the weekend. Richard Burton's stunning in this thing.
Thomas Becket, you are noble.
Peter O'Toole plays Richard II, and he's such a creep. You wonder how they ever pulled off this whole royalty thing. They're just people like us. They have somebody else put their pants on one leg at a time for them. They're just like us. I don't know how they get by with all this stuff. Look, there's Gallagher. Why is Gallagher on the screen?
We're going to start with the watermelon.
That's not Gallagher. That's the Queen Mom.
Oh.
I've been working with you too
it's
long.
It's like giving birth to a pineapple with 2 DirecTV satellite dishes connected to it.
No, like, that's cruel, man. Give him a pineapple? We are lucky to have the D-Man right here in our L.A. studio. He traveled down by limo from his palatial house in Santa Barbara. That must have cost you some gas money.
By limo?
Yeah, by limo. You were in limo.
We're on Fox, for God's sakes. They sent half a smart car.
Is that right? You were in those one alone?
I drove myself.
Did you really?
Yeah,
It cost you a lot of gas, though. It's $5 a gallon out here.
But hey, before we get to that, we wanted to bring down. I got you a welcome to L.A.
Isn't
gift.
this nice?
Yeah,
This is
we're
a gift
just
for me?
tear it open. Don't save the paper.
All right, don't worry about it. It's the paper that
Just
I...
a little something.
Right. Oh, I've been wanting to read this book.
Killing Lincoln.
I've been wanting to read this.
I'll sign it for you.
Are you mocking me?
No, I'm not.
I don't, in
It's
my contract, that's not allowed.
The book's hot. I just thought I'd get you one.
I know. All right, gas prices going through the roof.
Yeah.
And you say?
Well, first off, whenever I think of, you know, the cost of gas, I have to say it's not like my biggest thing. That.
But you're a rich guy.
Yeah, but Bill, even when I was broke, I remember thinking you take a 2-ton object, move it 30 miles. For, you know, at that point it was $2. Now it's $4. I don't know. It's not the worst deal you get.
Who owns this country physically? Who owns it? Physically, the land.
The Indians.
No, we do. And the Indians are incorporated in that.
I didn't know if we were in politically correct,
people,
Bill.
We the people own the land.
Well, I'm an Indian.
Okay? And we own 12 miles of ocean offshore. That's the U.S. sphere of influence. We own that. It's ours. All the 320 million American citizens. The government doesn't own it. The oil companies don't own it. So they take the stuff out of our land and they send it to China. Does that make sense to you?
Other than saying that on this show, though, if you want to go out and get in the way of that process, you're going to get shot. It's like the taxes.
I'm taking a lot of flack.
But you know what I'm saying.
Really
It's like taxes. You want to be the first guy to say I'm not paying my taxes. You end up in, you know, you
I'll
and
be
Craig
next to
Nelson.
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, you and Craig.
We'll be in the same cell. And it's tough being in a cell with Wesley because he turns into a vampire.
We're talking all the night places where vampires congregate.
Wait, let
Every
me
night.
Here's my Wesley Snipes passenger 57 impression. Always been on black. Remember? It was great.
No one saw the movie, but if you did,
Well,
it was good.
the reason there were only 56 people who saw Passenger
That's right.
57.
And all of them were vampires.
Have you been to McDonald's lately? I'm not laughing, damn it, I'm not laughing. And damn it, don't you laugh. Because they're killing you with your taste buds. You don't understand Satan, but you'll hate me for exposing them today. There's a slime in the burger. It's got silicone. They've practiced how to deceive your taste buds and your nose.
So I'd like the Satan special, please. That's large fry, Big Mac.
You know what I take away from that, Billy? Guess who owns Burger King stock?
It's not personal with me.
Farrakhan. That's right.
I think.
Is it just
I think
McDonald's where
Farrakhan's-
Satan's hanging out behind a counter, or are there other fast food joints?
Yeah,
I think
Reverend, one man's slime is another man's roughage. Please
think,
allow
though,
me to have my burger.
I hate to have to explain Farrakhan because I got enough trouble explaining you. I think he's talking about, the fast food, high fat, obesity and all of that. I think that's what he's talking about.
Well, it all comes back to the white man trying to kill the black man, and sometimes a burger's just a burger. You know what I mean? It's the Rev calls everybody. It's always the pot calling the kettle white. With the Reverend.
Monday night, I tuned in to see Miller on Hawaii 5-0, but unfortunately, I tuned in 3 minutes after 10 o'clock Eastern Time, and Miller was already dead. Roll the tape.
Yeah.
The kids in that Occupy movement driving me absolutely crazy when I go by. What I'm saying is, it's over. It's time to Zamboni off the loser ice and get these kids out of there. And I'm sorry to blow your mind, little Silver Surfer, but guess what? It's a time in history where your mind deserves to be blown.
Oh, who killed you, Miller?
That was written by a young staff writer named Louis Farrakhan.
I'm not laughing, damn it, I'm not laughing.
So Miller's dead, and then James Caan and son Scott Caan, the other guy, they solved the crime, right? But it's too late for you. Did you go to heaven or hell in that program, by the way?
Billy, I didn't even watch the whole episode. I was just trying to keep my afrodental current, all right?
That didn't hurt, did it?
You didn't actually see it? You didn't see the whole thing? Who killed
No,
you
I
and all
saw
that?
myself. I got blown up. What am I going to watch the rest of it
Well,
for?
don't you
Although I
want to
did see-
know if there was justice done by the bad guy who did that to you?
Yeah, I'm hanging on that. I love acting.
You make it sound really enticing.
Listen, I saw Jimmy Caan in the parking lot. I said, Jimmy, are you on this show? He said, this is for my kid, not for my career.
Hey, what are you going to do?
Coming up, the sage of Southern California sounds off on the Bacon Sunday.
Somebody finally gets it that there's nothing to top off a sweltering, hot, mid-August day like some crispy, deep-fried hog fat.
And rapper Snoop Dogg. Miller is next.